Okay, I think we're gonna cook up a corned beef brisket today. This is the flat cut. And cut that open. Okay. Nice looking piece. Got your little spice pack here that you want to put in it. Rinse everything off. I rinse the meat off too. The meat has a lot, the corned beef has a lot of salt on it. And you can actually soak it, they say, and remove it, but I'm just going to rinse it off. There we go. And some people that bake it dry, they pat it dry, but the way that I cook it isn't going to be done that way. What we have here, I've taken two big onions, two big yellow onions, and cut them into like 3/4 inch stacked high pieces. So 2 onions, cut them about this thick. Put them in the pan. You're going to put your corned beef laying on top of that, and you want the fat side up. So we're going to do like this right here. And we're going to open our little seasoning packet. Pour this all around it. Some on it, some around it. This seasoning packet is mostly, it's not as much for flavoring as it is for the aromatics that are going to go into the corned beef. Just wash my hands real quick. Get my towel. Okay. Now I have 4 cups of water sitting here that I am going to pour over this pan. 4 cups should bring it right about where you need it. You want it pretty full. You want your pan, let me show you where it comes up to on it. And now I've got the oven preheated to 350. I'm going to reduce it down to 300, and then I'm going to let this roll tightly wrapped in tin foil for about 3 hours. At the end of 2.5 to 3 hours, probably 2.5, I'll take it out, test it, and see how it's doing. And basically that's what's going to happen. It should be fork tender by the time we take it out. Okay, let's make some potato salad to go with that beef brisket that we have in the oven. I've got my 4-quart pot over here. Peeling the potatoes. We save the potato skins and put them in the compost. So basically you want your potato cubes to be about this size. Let me watch that one. To be about this size right here, because they'll cook down. You don't want to lose too much of the potato in the boiling process. So I use about 7 or 8 potatoes. This will be for Don and I for a couple of days. We'll have it with other various meals. I have more ingredients over here to show you after I get the potatoes rolling. Yes, I know my knife tip is broke. I used it where I shouldn't have used it one day, but it's a good knife and I'm not ready to give it up yet. Don keeps me in good knives. I've got some really nice Wistoffs, and nothing like a good sharp knife whenever you want to do your cooking. I have to get tickled at Don. He says his people would have a conniption fit if they saw how much potato I left on the skin when I'm peeling. His people. I've yet to hear anything from his people about it, so I think that they may be on my side. After I get all these are Yukon Gold potatoes. I use those, or either the red potatoes. I don't normally use any russets or white potatoes because I find that they kind of get mushier, and I like to have a little bit of bite left in my potato whenever we're eating it. So we're about through with that part. We tried growing potatoes here last year or year before last, and although they were really pretty, tasted great, and looked like they were growing really well, and I guess we got the yield that most people said you would get from them, we just found that it took too much garden space and work, and I could buy a bag of organic potatoes easier than that. We're pretty cost effective. If something isn't really worth all the work we're putting into it, we don't usually do it again. And our garden is very honestly, we got so many vegetables out of it in the last couple of years, but one year in particular, 3 years ago, I canned 99 pints of green beans from that little garden out there. And no, I couldn't get one more to make it 100. I was done with it by then anyway. But, okay. This will go to the compost. I will wash these potatoes right here. Salt them, boil them until almost, I'll boil them for probably 20 minutes or so till they're just done, and then drain them, let them cool, run a little bit of cool water over them, and start making the salad. While those potatoes finish cooking, I'm going to show y'all what I put in the potato salad. I like to kind of have everything put in here when I put the potatoes in, and that way I'm not disturbing it too much by adding it to the potatoes and trying to get it mixed all through. So I try to get everything mixed up together. I have roasted red peppers that I cut up. I like to pat them almost dry because they will tend to make your potato salad a little watery if you don't. And then I have the sliced golden pepperoncinis, and I have relish, sweet relish, Duke's mayonnaise, is there any other, and the real bacon bits. Normally I have bacon cooked in the refrigerator and I'll just crumble it up, but Don had this, he picked this up the other day for a loaded baked potato he wanted, so we'll use that, and it is the real bacon. So anyway, I'm going to put all that in here. I should have used a spatula so I didn't hurt your ears. And Now this is this part right here with the dukes. You can kind of eyeball it. I put like 3 heaping. This is a big tablespoon, very big one. 3 to start with, okay? Then I will leave it out because if I need to moisten it a little more, it'll be right here. Let me get those spatulas so I can. That clang clang with this recording going on can get annoying. That's better. Okay, so I just kind of macerate it a little bit. Stir all this up. Okay, now I will add about 2 squirts, 1, 2, of the sweet relish, and I'm going to say about a tablespoon. Y'all can tell already what kind of cook I am. I sprinkled this and sprinkled that, and I'm sorry I don't do very well with measurements, so that's about a tablespoon. So we're going to put a tablespoon of bacon bits in here. Okay, everything is all mashed up right here, and I have found you do not need to add any salt to this. The bacon and all of these the ingredients that we put in it just seem to give it just the right. This is Don and my granddaughter Abby's favorite potato salad recipe. They love it. Abby was so disappointed years ago. I went to visit her in North Carolina and took a whole tub of it to her, and she was so excited. And we stayed at a motel and hotel, what do you call them these days anyway? We stayed at one, and when we all left, we got about an hour down the road, I guess, had gone out to eat breakfast, and we were leaving to go home and realized that we had left that in the refrigerator. And by the time we went back to get it, the maid had already dumped everything out of the refrigerator. She was devastated. Okay, we're just gonna let this sit for a minute while the potatoes are still cooking. They're almost done, and then we'll drain those and mix this up real good. So we've run the water over here, and they've been cooling. While I'm letting this cool, I'll tell you a little story about this towel. I look down at it and I giggle every time I see it. A friend of mine got me 2 of these nice cotton, big nice cotton kitchen towels from Georgia somewhere, and she sent them to me, and I just love them. But as you can tell, it's got like that old ticking look to it, and it's like a burlap color. And one of them got to missing, and I found it outside, and I asked Don what he was doing with my good kitchen towel, and he said, well, it looked like an old dingy one to him because of the color of it, I guess. So anyway, I had to wash it and reclaim it. But yeah, just about everything in our house has got a story to it. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this these potatoes, dump them in here. And I'm going to set up again so that you can see what we're doing a little closer. Okay, and I'm going to use my spatula. You can see that these didn't lose their shape much at all. And by the time I finish macerating them down just a little bit while they're picking up all of the goodies that we put in it, they'll be just the right size, or just the right size for us anyway. Some people like theirs mashed down. If that's how you like it, go for it. think we're getting there. Doesn't take long. And like I said before, if you see that it's after you start mashing it that it gets a little drier, or you think it needs a little more mayonnaise, cave it out in the center. Get your dukes back out. Put you another little dollop in the center, like that. And spread it around and toss it again. Okay, so that's about how we like ours right there. Alright. Let you see it a little better. Okay, smooth it down. Right, I put a little bit of paprika on top of it. This right here. Give it a little bit of smoky flavor. And I'll give it another shake on top. A little bit of bacon. Just makes it prettier. The rest of it's all on the inside. So that's it. There's our potato salad. That's going to go with our brisket that's in the oven, and probably going to roast or pan roast some asparagus tomorrow to go along with this. Okay, we're back to our corned beef now. It cooked for 3 hours. I took it out, let it come to room temperature. Lifted it out of the pan that it was in. It was still full of juice, almost as much as it was when I put it in, and a lot of it was juice that came out of the meat itself. So I pulled that out, dipped the onions out, put it into another pan here, and now we're going to flake it off a little. And I don't necessarily shred mine, because I like to, when you chomp down, know that you're coming on a piece of meat and it's not any of the vegetables or whatever. But anyway, it cooked up really nice. It's tender, and if I come across some fatty chunks, I go ahead and take them out. I'm not a big fan of the fat. Don would tell me to leave it in and let him sort it out. Matter of fact, he just told me that with a steak. So we're going to take this off of the it doesn't have a bone. The big chunk that it's in, we're going to cut it up into little pieces. And you can tell that I have the onions in here as well, as much of them as I could salvage. And a couple of these pieces I'm going to put to the side as well, because one day this week I may make some Reuben egg rolls, which are very, very easy, and I'll have a little bit of sauerkraut left, and a little bit of corned beef, and a little bit of Swiss cheese, and we'll roll them all up and make a couple of Reuben egg rolls. Dip them in some Thousand Island dressing. As you can tell, this is pretty tender. Okay. And you probably heard before to cut it against the grain. I did a taste test and it's really delicious. Like I said, you don't need to add any salt or any seasonings actually. Okay. Over here. I'll lay a couple of these nice long sidelong pieces. Doesn't that look good? And this was a flat cut. I think I told you that already, but this is a flat cut brisket. You can get a flat or you can get a tip. And I've cooked both, and it seems like the length of cooking time and process is all the same to me. I prefer the flat because it's easier to get this fat away from it more easy than it is to do it with the round tip ones. Yeah, this looks great. Okay, almost there. Alright, now get my spatulas out and I'll show you what we're going to do now. You probably heard the beeper go off on the oven. It's because I'm raising it to 350. It doesn't need to cook anymore, but I do want to. Everything is cooked and all the flavors are infused in all of this, but we're going to add the rest of the ingredients now, and we want that to come and get really hot too. Alright, I'm going to show you what we're going to put in here. I have a cup and a half of grated Swiss cheese that I grated. I have a cup, little over a cup and a quarter of the drippings, the reserved juices that came out of the pan when I lifted this up and put it in another pan. I rinsed the sauerkraut. It's too tart for me, you know, straight out the bag. Some people can do that, I can't. But anyway, I rinsed that real good, and we're not going to use all of this. The sauerkraut is usually in the dairy section of the grocery store. If you can't find it there, get one of the large cans of sauerkraut and do the same. Drain it and rinse it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to come back over here. And we're going to mix in, probably, I'm going to say half of this. Cup and a half, 2 cups of the kraut. The reserve broth, cup and a half of that. And some people would just bake the Swiss on top, but I really don't like cutting through cheese. I like it better when it's blended. Okay, we have all this. Now, the last thing I'm going to add before I stir it up and toss it up is called Charleston Spice. It's the Charleston 10 Spice. It's got it's just got a really cool menagerie of spices here. I'll call them out. Himalayan salt, Telecherry peppercorns, fennel seed, coriander, red chili flakes, oregano, thyme, basil, marjoram, and rosemary. And it's a very different flavor, and it seems to go really good with the corned beef. So I'm going to give it several generous twist. Okay. Now if you don't have that, I mean, just use, you could probably, from the ingredients I just read, you could use almost something on the, any 5 spice of you know, good blend like that would work. And you don't have to have any of that at all. I just accidentally found this out by putting some on it one day, and that's what I use. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Alright, got the onions tossed in there, cheese. Now, I'm going to top this with I find out it's easier for me to do it by hand. Top this with some black pepper. The same foil that I used, I was going to get another use out of the same foil I used to bake the brisket in. I'm going to wrap it up and get another use out of it. And we're going to put this in the oven at 350. Time it for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45. Everything is still hot, so basically you're just trying to meld the flavors. Okay, I think then the last thing we're going to do is make some fried zucchini with some horseradish sauce. I'll save the asparagus for another time. Okay, everyone, here's your dish. Nice and cheesy and juicy. Cheese is melted. Now, I usually serve it like I'll take a slotted spoon and dip it out like that. Just put it on the plate. You can easily drain this real well too and put it on sourdough bread, a good hard crusty bread. That would make it good too. The juices are really delicious as well, so you could do it as a soup even. But anyway, this is going to go with the potato salad and potato salad and fried zucchini with horseradish sauce. The rice has come to a nice boil now, and it's calmed down a little bit, so I'm going to put the lid on. We've got it turned down one more little dial, almost between, I don't know if you have a range or what, or electric, but if it is electric, I put it around 2. And now, I'll still keep an eye on it because it wants to bubble up, but we're going to let it cook for 20 minutes, and then the rice will be done. Okay, so what we have here is some Boots mayonnaise. I'm going to get, let me see, maybe 3 tablespoons, I guess that's tablespoon, 3 big tablespoons of mayonnaise, maybe a little more. And then I'm going to take some prepared horseradish. This is my second favorite one to get. There's some pre-made ones that are so vinegary, I really don't like them on the market. But this one, Reese, and there's another one in a small little round jar that's made by a German company. I can't think of the name. Those are my 2 favorites. And it's going to add some kick to it, but you really don't want more than that. Okay. Now, stir this up. Let me get my spatula. I use spatulas for everything. So now you have your horseradish sauce to dip your fried zucchini in. And we'll put that in the refrigerator until it's time to eat. Okay, while our oil is heating up to fry the zucchini, you can hardly see, it's a blackout here with the skillet. It's half full of grease. I'll tell you some of the other things that we're going to be doing while that's heating up. The rice is done. I fluffed it up with a fork. And I have 2 pans sitting here with the little steel grates in them. I like doing that rather than putting them on paper towels, and they stay crisper. You'll need a slotted spoon to pull the zucchini out of this. Here's our sliced zucchini. I'm going to crack 2 eggs and save the yolks and use the whites to coat the zucchini. And we found out by accident after a fish fry or something that this Zatarain's crispy southern fish fry breading mix is awesome on any vegetables. So yeah, that's my washer cranking up over there. Hopefully it's not going to take off. Okay. So anyway, we're going to get this oil heated up. I'm going to get these coated, and then we're going to deep fry them. Uh-oh, that didn't go like planned. That's okay, a little bit won't hurt. Okay, so we have our egg whites, and these have been drained. The zucchini that we had sitting in water have been drained. And remember, we put salt in them, and what that's going to do is make it to where we really don't have to salt them that much. Okay, let's pour some of the breading mix in here, and we'll just use it as needed, or however much we need. Alright, now I'm going to take this. And now we're going to toss this. I toss it with my hands too, but it doesn't hurt to get down there in the bottom and get some of that pulled up. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. It's about how many you're going to put in your first batch. While that's sitting there, grease is almost hot. We will put the next batch in here. Looks like we're going to get 3 batches out of those 3 zucchini. Now, I'll hold something over the pan to see if it's hot enough. It's not. It's getting there, you hear it. Okay, this grease has got to be really hot for it to get crisp. And so, I'm letting it get a little more bubbly even than that. Okay, I dropped one in there and it is frying up pretty good. So, let's put them in. Okay, about to the bottom of this first batch, nice and crispy. And I don't like my grease to get too burnt, especially if I'm going to do 2 or 3 batches. So what I do is when I finish one, I'll pull it to the side slowly for a second until I get my second batch tossed up. Okay, now we'll slide it right on back. Still good and hot. And repeat the process. Now while that is cooking, I'm tossing the rest of it, last batch, into the egg mixture and then into the breader. We'll take it off of the burner. Get the burner off. And there you go. There's our fried zucchini. Okay, well we're going to plate it up now. We have our potato salad from yesterday. I'll put that in a bowl here. Here's our horseradish sauce for the zucchini back here. And this is the corned beef with the sauerkraut and Swiss cheese and some rice over here. And that's going to do it. That makes our Sunday dinner. Thanks for watching. Hey, hit the like button or and the subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.